So, your book, Is My Bow Tie Too Big? Oh, no, not My Bow Tie. I'm sorry. My Bow Too Big. Where does that title come from?
Well, my father was in vaudeville, and he always told me, always dress better than the audience. And so when I was, starting in show business and doing stand-up comedy, and I was like, well, what should my costume be? I don't know. I started wearing bows, I noticed, way back in the 80s. But when I was doing speeches at tea parties, I was in the same dilemma. But I thought red, white, and blue would be good. That's the bow thing. I just, that's all. Alan Combs said it was well written, and it proves that I'm not a tit.
That was nice of him.
Here's my Aunt Millie's review. Why is there so much trash in it? And I said, well, Millie, it's because I want unbelievers to know that Christians are not holier than thou, pious bigots, and they're not perfect people. They're sinners that were saved by grace and forgiven. That's all. The only difference between me and a non-believer.
So, what does a Baptist virgin think of the Playboy Grotto? I mean, did you see things you can't unsee?
I didn't see any drugs, and I didn't really see any nudity, but I did go in the grotto once, and I saw the naked shoulders of somebody, but my first thought was there must be a lot of germs in that water.
Yeah, mostly Tony Curtis's and James Caan's. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I did jump off the top and dive in once for a picture, but no, I mostly didn't see anything, unseemly. I thought it was kind of like a country club where people wanted to be seen,
Was the water itself refreshing, or did it have that lukewarm, oh my God, this is a petri dish feeling to it?
I don't remember.
Okay. Now, what's a cigarette girl? I read this about you, that you were a cigarette girl, and I know we're the same age, so I think of a cigarette girl as something in the 40s.
Yes. Well, see, the club I worked at was a 1950s club.
Ah.
And actually, they had 1930s music. They had Art Deco and the Society Orchestra was the name of it. And they had an elevator man who was all dressed up who pushed the buttons for you. And it was a really charming place. And the boss, Milt Larson, he owns Magic Castle. He gave me the job, and it was one of my best jobs I ever had.
Did they have a midget that said call for Philip Morris?
No.
Oh.
Is that from the 30s?
Yeah, that's sort of like the thing from they always have this midget bellboy, and he yells, call for Philip Morris. That was their ad, the cigarette ad.
What movie is that in?
Actually, I think they have a little bit of that in Pulp Fiction. I think there's a guy that comes out and he at that retro restaurant they go to, and I think they have this little bellboy yell, call for Philip Morris. I don't know. I'm probably way off. And if I am, I'm going to edit this out because I can't be made to look the fool on my own show. So.
J'espère que vous passez une excellente soirée chez Jack Rabbit Sims. Merci.
Téléphone pour Monsieur Philippe Maurice.
Oh, I didn't watch Pulp Fiction. Too much violence.
Yeah. So where do you stand on Piers Morgan's obsession with asking every guest, no matter who it is, about gun control?
I haven't watched him, so I wouldn't know. I think he's on a mission from the devil to help Obama turn us into communists as quick as possible.
I don't see you as a gun owner. I could be wrong, and I really don't want you to answer because that would be, I'm not asking. But
I want to answer.
Okay.
I want to answer. I bought a gun in 1986 when I lived in Laurel Canyon, and I had a newborn baby, and our house was up in the mountain in the trees, and no one would have heard me scream if I was in trouble. And Richard Ramirez was on the loose, and he was killing people, and he was taking their blood and drawing pentagrams on their walls in his victims' blood. And the powerful urge of a mother's love to protect her baby made me go buy a gun, go to the practicing range. I got it in the heart every time because I'm a gymnast and I'm good at that kind of thing. Eye-hand coordination, you know. And took the gun home and put it high in the closet. And, yep, that's my gun story.
Yeah, and that's the perfect story to tell on Piers Morgan. How anyone can argue with that. And he claims he's not. He's claiming that he's only after the AR-15, which is responsible for less than 1%, half of 1% of the gun murders in this country, and he's obsessed with the AR-15. But that's just a smokescreen. He's completely anti-gun to the core. He's probably backing the Feinstein bill that came out today that includes everything, shotguns, handguns. So I'm not falling for that, but I wish Piers Morgan can hear that story because that is the answer.
They don't have reason and logic and common sense. They have some strange process that goes on in their brain.
Well, I'm going to wrap this up because I don't want you to wrap yourself up against a tree.
Oh, no!